As you guessed by the title and the thumbnail, today I'll be ranking self-improvement habits. So let's begin. But let me explain the process real quick. Here you see the tiers: S tier, A tier, B tier and C tier. S tier means it's life-changing, A tier means it's super useful, B tier means it's good, and C tier means it's alright, it's okay. But why I did not include a trash tier, for example F tier or something like that, is because in self-improvement each and everything is for your own good, and that is why there cannot be a habit which can be bad for you if you are considering the viewpoint of self-improvement, and that is why I only have these 4 categories. So let's begin with habit number 1. At first we have workout, and as you already guessed, it's gonna be in the life-changing category. The reason being that it not only makes you look better, look good and make you feel more confident, but also because it builds your discipline and both physical and mental strength. The time when you don't feel like doing that another 10 reps or 20 reps or however much you have left and you do, that is when endurance of your brain is built. And of course there is the benefits of looking good, being more confident in your own body, getting an aesthetic physique, attracting people and all of that good stuff. So it's definitely gonna be S tier because it deserves S tier. Now we have the second habit tracking. To be honest, habit tracking is going to be at the okay level because I have tried it multiple times, with app, without app, with Excel sheet, without Excel sheet, with graphs, without graphs, and so many things. From the last 2 years I have been trying to get the best app or best tracker or to know the details of my habits, but it never works. Consistency is different thing, but once you get to digital habit tracking, the one thing that will suck you dry is trying to find a good habit tracker for a Windows PC. Number 1, it does not exist. Number 2, if you were to do with Excel habit tracking, you would face a lot of problems, and especially if you're someone who is a little bit of computer nerd and wants to graph and all of that shit, it can be done, but the thing is it will take too much time. Now don't go writing in the comments about different Excel formulas. I have experimented with everything except for writing, I don't know, 500 lines of code for a new program of mine. Except that I have tried anything and everything which is available, and so the only good habit tracking apps are on the iOS, which I don't own, and that is why for me it's not good. Especially the graph part, I told you, the most pain you will have is trying to graph things like study time, meditation, etc, etc. These are too much of a pain because 1, you have to graph them by how much amount you did, and number 2, you have to graph them by whether you did them or not. So it's double work. Basically speaking, it's too much of a work. I personally would put this in the okay category because it deserves to be okay. It's not life changing and it's not good, nothing. So number 3, we have cold shower. Now I have seen many people speak about cold shower, that they are life changing and all of that, but I am the person who takes cold showers every day from the day I was born. So it's probably me, but I don't see any benefits aside from that sudden shock you get once you put the water on you. Don't get me wrong, but it's good habit because few of my best ideas have come from me experience that 1 second shock and just my brain saying that alright, here is the idea. It's something worth experimenting on, and hence I will put it in good category, though many people would argue it can be in super helpful category or even life changing. But me personally, as I have already been doing it since a long time, it doesn't have that much of an impact. And it's probably also due to the climate, because people with colder climate will have more neuron activation or something like that. I am not a science nerd, and especially in the field of biology. So now we have meditation, and no doubt it's gonna go to super helpful, not life changing. Because don't get me wrong, and I know people are gonna get me wrong, but don't get me wrong, I have put meditation here because this ranking is on a personal basis, and personally I haven't found meditation to be life changing. I have had some good ideas when I was meditating and I have been more present, but what I feel is for meditation to have full effect on you, you need to do it for a longer period of time, and for me, considering my schedule, it's maximum 10 minutes if even that. So it does not have that much of an impact on me right now, but your condition might be different. You might be doing 30 minutes of meditation per day, and so you might be experiencing more benefits. Since I'm not doing the work right now, and that's why I'm not experiencing the benefits, and that is why I'm putting it in super useful category. Honestly speaking, it deserves somewhere between life changing and the super useful category, but for me personally, it's in the super useful category. And it is especially useful when you're trying to go on a meeting or trying to talk to somebody and you zoned out. If you just meditated 1 to 2 minutes, then you would be more present during that conversation. So for that, yeah, it is super useful. So now we have time tracking. It's one of those things which are very good to have because it's not something that is going to change your life, or it's not something that is just okayish. But instead of habit tracking, time tracking is actually useful because you get to see your behavior patterns. You can argue the same with habit tracking, but that's too much of a pain to track. But time is not that much of a pain to track. You just install a software, for example, if you're on the web, then web time tracker or something like that, toggle track or something like that, you will find it easily. It's very useful because it gives you behavior patterns. For example, I have seen that the most visited website for me was youtube.com, unsurprisingly, and in the past 190 days I have spent close to 15 days on the web. Like 15 days, that much time. 15 days, like 15 multiplied by 24 hours, that much time I have spent in digital world instead of physical world. So it gives you kind of a fear to not waste your time digitally and actually be present in your life. So yeah, it's one of those things which are very good to have. Now we have morning sunlight, and it's definitely gonna go to super useful because morning sunlight is one of those habits which is gonna help you by a long shot. It has become a ritual for me because if I don't get the morning sunlight, my circadian rhythm is gonna be fucked, and so will my sleep schedule. I won't get sleep, my sleep quality will be less, I will wake up in the middle of the night, and random BS will happen if I don't get the sunlight. And speaking about sunlight in general, not just the morning one, sunlight in general is very important because most people nowadays are just sitting inside their houses, and that's why facing the inefficiency of vitamin D. So it's good anyways, and especially the morning one you should get. If you even don't get the entire day of sunlight, you should at least try and aim for about 2 to 3 minutes of morning sunlight. So now I will be speaking about journaling, and it's going to be placed in super useful category. And the reason being, journaling is one of the best things to investigate your own thoughts, to plan ahead, to know yourself, to write down the things that excited you, write down the things that saddened you or that made you happy or whatever. Your personal journal is like a painter's canvas. You can do anything you like on that. I generally do it digitally, but whenever something important happens or some important decision I need to write, or I'm suffering from different type of mental issues, then one thing I will do is journal. My journals are like a plan ahead for the future me because my journal consists of all of my bad habits that I'm currently doing, how do I want to get rid of them, what do I want to do in future, etc, etc. It's just a general template I am saying, but in general my journal consists of a whole spectrum of things, and it is just one of the key important things of that, which is trying to reduce the bad habits and increase the good habits, and hence journal is one of the great options. Also, journal gives you various ideas and it helps you to consolidate all of your ideas in one place. You can use journal as a mind map to mind map your entire life and to see whether you are satisfied with your life or not. And there are so many different things that I could talk on for about an hour on journal, so it's gonna be on the super useful category. So now we have skill learning. Now skill learning depends on the type of skill you are talking about. If you're talking about skills like social skills, they are very useful, or if you're talking about just trying to learn copywriting so that you can get 1 or 2 clients per month, then it's not that great of a thing. If you're trying to learn skills like communication, sales, tactics, social skills, etc, etc, then they are very good, and hence I will place it somewhere between okay and good. Alright, let's do good. Now we have deep work, and it's gonna be life changing because it is life changing. If you don't do deep work, or if you are not able to do deep work, you won't produce results. If you don't have the capacity of sitting and doing the work, then you are never gonna achieve any of these things, regardless of workout, morning sunlight, cold shower, habit tracking, time tracking, meditation, journal, skills learning, whatever it is. You are never gonna achieve it if you don't do deep work, and if you can't do deep work. Workout is kind of like a deep work but for the body, but when it comes to other things, all you have to do is deep work, and if you can't do deep work, all you do is shallow work, then it's never gonna give you the entire results. It's like with shallow work of 3 hours, you will get 70 on 100 marks for an average student, and if you do the same 3-hour block with the deep work, then you are gonna get 90 marks on that same test. So deep work is one of the most amazing things, and one of the most amazing capabilities of our brains and our bodies, that we can sit there and be blocked out from the entire world and do a specific task. So it's technically a gift to humans. So now we are talking about gratitude journal, and it's gonna be okay because for me, I have not found it useful. seriously speaking, there are many people who say gratitude journaling changed their life, how to be more grateful towards everyone, etc., so on and so forth. But for me, gratitude journaling has been never useful, but it's not like it's a trash habit. It's a good habit, but for me, it has not been useful. Instead of gratitude journaling for 5 minutes, I would rather write down affirmations and all of that. For me personally, I'm already so grateful for all the things I have, and I'm not the typical ungrateful bastard. I'm someone who understands the value of things around me, and that is why gratitude journaling is something that I am already doing in myself. I don't need to physically manifest a journal to write down what I'm grateful for, because I know what I am grateful for. Many people won't relate to what I'm talking about, and if you can, then good, because I don't need a physical journal to track my gratitudeness. One day what happened was, I was so much frustrated on my PC, which is a decade old, that it was not working properly. And what my brain immediately thought of was people who don't even have a PC, who have not even seen PCs in their life. And I just became grateful. And that is why gratefulness is something which is already instilled and already installed or downloaded in my brain. And that is why I don't need a physical journal to track my gratitude. And for you, it might be different. For you, you might be having the same attitude as the spoiled rich kid who just spends money without any care in the world, and that's why you might not be grateful. So for you, that might be a life-changing habit to start being more grateful towards things. But for me personally, it's not, because I already do. So now we have entrepreneurship, and if entrepreneurship did not exist, then you wouldn't be seeing me right now. And that is why it's gonna go to the life-changing part, because it enables you to do all the good habits. See, regardless of whatever good habits you are doing, if you don't have entrepreneurship, you can't do anything. If you don't have a goal you are working towards, for example, getting 10k per month or getting to 5k per month, or if you are someone who is very rich, then getting 100k per month, if you don't have a clear goal like that, then you are not going to be motivated to do the other things. I will give you a very nice analogy. For most of a student's life, what is the main important thing in his life? What is the main driving factor? The driving factor is studies and getting more marks. So what does a typical student do? For example, what did I do throughout my entire past 10 to 12 years? What I did was I tried to optimize for studies. I tried to do things which will get me more marks. For example, making schedules, working out so that I have a clear brain, researching different study techniques and trying each and everything out to see whether it works for me or not. Similarly, the driving factor in your life should be entrepreneurship, regardless of whether you are studying or not. Same thing applies to me right now, because I realized the possibilities of entrepreneurship. With entrepreneurship, you can optimize so many things of your life, and you don't even have to think about anything ever again. You would certainly have to do the hard work, do the hard task, and all of this, you will be at a position where your financial things are taken care of, and that is why it will give you freedom, both time freedom and location freedom, which are very, very important. And aside from that, who doesn't like a few thousand more rupees in his bank account? So now we have time management, and this is the last habit. If you haven't already guessed, then I'll tell you, time management is gonna be a life-changing habit, because it does change your life. Now, how is it so? For example, imagine you wake up and you don't know what to do. You will spend an hour trying to figure out what you want to do, what you need to do, what you have to do, and all of that 1 hour will be wasted. Very nice. And then you go throughout your day. After that task is done, what are you gonna do again? You don't know. Imagine if you are going to school. After coming from school, you don't have a plan of what to study, when to study. So what are you gonna do? Procrastinate, of course. Similarly, you come home from work. What are you gonna do? Since you don't have a plan, you're gonna sit there and watch the TV. And that is why time management, planning, scheduling, to-do list, all this is very important. These might seem that too much of things to do. For example, you might think that who is gonna schedule all the calendars, all the this, that. But I'm telling you, this is one of the things that will give you the highest return for your investment, highest ROI task. I will tell you the biggest secret. Time management will allow you to do the other life-changing habits. If you don't have time management, you cannot schedule your workout. You cannot schedule your deep work, and all of your entrepreneur ideas will go down the drain if you can't time manage. If you can time manage, it will enable you to do each and everything that you want. For example, there is a time management technique called batching. With batching, what I can do is I can schedule meditation, journal, gratitude journal together, and that's why at that block of time, I will be focused on doing all of those habits. But instead, if I did not have time management, one morning I woke up, I thought about doing meditation, but I then thought that instead I would do journal, and so on and so forth. And in the end, I did not do even one single habit. This is just the typical example of a guy on self-improvement. If he does not time manage, if you time manage, then only you can get the benefits of all the other habits. And that is why people say that time is money, because it really is. It's even greater than money, because money can come and go, but time can't. The direction is moving only forwards and it's not gonna wait for anybody. So start time management right now, and it is the best habit that you can do. So let me do one thing quickly, that is swipe out these habits because of their order of importance. And now you know how important it is. Now don't say to me that now take the workout and put it there, take the entrepreneurship, put it there. What I want to emphasize is time management is the best habit out of each and everything. If you can time manage, you can do everything else. It's like if you know how to video edit, then only you are gonna get clients for editing videos. Otherwise you won't. So that was the rating, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Start if you haven't already.